Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to another live rant. Once again, during another Spyro stream. They're not all going to be Spyro, but Spyro is what I'm playing, and I don't really think that I need to say that in every intro, but I still do, so fucking deal with it. But today, we're going to be talking about, the economy and inflation and stuff, and, obviously we got that classic title, How About That Economy, Nice, Yick reference, right? But, anyway, with, the economy, there's only... really, it goes into more of just, things decaying over time, right? It's just another layer as well, like everything is. Inflation is incredibly frustrating, obviously. Prices going up, and, actually, like a Big Mac, back when I worked at McDonald's, from, 2012 to 2015, right? A Big Mac medium combo meal with a large drink. So, medium fries, large drink, Big Mac, right? That would cost you $6.14 back then. That's after tax, by the way.
And how much does it cost now?
Fucking 10 or 11 bucks, at least.
I mean, I can say something too. I remember back when, back in 2012, a Happy Meal was $3 where I live, and now they're over $5.
And to be fair, when I say 10 or 11, I'm lowballing it, because a lot of combo meals at McDonald's now cost 15 bucks.
And I remember when I can get a taco from Taco Bell for 69 cents.
Yeah.
I also remember when
not the 90s.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
now they're $2.
anyway, you were saying, Keto?
Yeah, I used to for groceries. I every week I was paying 15 euros or something, because I was only going once a week, right?
Yeah.
It was 15 euros back then every week, and now it's 40. That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Or
yeah.
almost.
That's nearly triple.
Yeah.
But
That's
the
thing, that shit is insane.
the thing is, there are a lot of different factors. I think one of the problems is people actually have an obsession with, we need a minimum wage, we need to raise the minimum wage, and that actually just makes things worse.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when you raise minimum wage, companies have to raise their cost. Because, and here's the thing also, most people don't work for minimum wage. I've literally never worked for minimum wage. I've always worked for above minimum wage. Now, I worked for close to minimum wage at McDonald's, but I was still technically above. Because I think when I started...
I was actually above minimum wage.
Lucky you.
I was getting paid about $17 an hour, even though I think the minimum wage where I live is 15.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm butchering that word. For some reason, my autistic brain can't say minimum.
You were saying it's fine, you're being self-conscious.
Huh?
But,
Your minimum wage is higher than our country.
well, you know what? When I started at McDonald's, my minimum wage was $7.25 an hour.
So, okay, yeah, that is.
But I was getting paid $7.75. I don't actually know what our minimum wage is now. I think it's 10 or 11.
Okay, no, ours higher. Ours 14
Yeah.
euros.
Where I live, it's $15 an hour.
Yeah, I don't know the conversion rate between euros and dollars, but yeah.
Euros are worth more as far as I know.
Are they? Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm certainly no expert on currency, but something that's...
I know because I sometimes buy shit in America, so I have to pay less because
okay.
it's in dollars.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it actually can change sometimes, but usually
Well, yeah,
euros,
that's true. That's true. Just depending on the state of the world, because that's the thing is imports and relations between countries can affect those prices of imports and stuff. And obviously, another thing we have is right now tariffs, right? Which, granted, in theory, I like the concept of tariffs with what they're supposed to be, right?
Yes.
Because it's supposed to encourage doing shit, nationally rather than globally, right? But the problem is the way that they're executed. A lot of the time, it's not even oh yeah, the other country's paying to import. No, we're paying to import shit. That's the part that irritates me. Is if I buy some shit from Europe or Asia or whatever, I have to pay extra to import it. I thought it was supposed to be on the foreign, it was supposed to be a national thing where we're making the other countries pay their dues, right? That's supposed to be the thing in theory, right?
Yes.
But in execution, I just got to pay extra if I'm importing something right now. So. Again, although I liked the concept of tariffs, and it was one of the factors that I did vote for in concept, right? in execution, it actually really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is, like, maybe a thing that kind of incentivizes it with, like prices, fucking, with, like, companies building shit, but not really, I think. Like, that should have been the thing. Like, if anyone should pay to import besides the foreigners, it should be companies, right? Like, who are making shit out there. They should have to pay, like, supposedly, like, they would pay a tax to do it. Which, granted, I don't really agree with taxation per se, but if we're going to tax, we should tax shit that's coming in, right? Not shit that's here nationally. But the thing that irritates me is, again, in execution, that's just really not how it works. Like, again, I'm not as, like, staunchly, like, angry about it as some people are, but the more I think about it, it was actually in a conversation I had the other day where I was actually kind of defending it, and the person I was talking to said, well, you know, it's kind of bullshit, you know, that I have to pay extra for import, and I'm like, when I thought about it, initially I was like, well, you know, that's just how it works short term, but then when I thought about it, I'm like, no, that's retarded. Why am I saying that? Because it should be on the importers, not us, right? Like, it should be on the people sending it in to import. So why am I paying out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
But tariffs are obviously just one factor. Another factor we have is, you know, our relationships with countries, right? Like, Russian shit cost more, especially during the height of, like, the Russia-Ukraine shit, right? Like, especially, like, under Biden during the Russia-Ukraine shit. Like, Russian shit was, like, some stores didn't even carry it. Certain things were, like, banned. Like, not necessarily outright, but, like, effectively, you know? And, like, so there was shit that was more expensive that way. And I don't know if that's still the case. I know I was able to buy some Russian ammo during the peak of that, so it clearly wasn't completely banned or anything. Like, it wasn't, like, scarce. And it didn't even cost that much. I thought it would cost more, but... So, again, with that, I think it all depends on the product and everything, too, right?
Yes.
But, the other thing is, with like, jobs, right, when you get a raise. My company right now that I work for currently only gives raises to match inflation, allegedly. But I don't even really think they've done that because they're kind of slow with that, which is another thing that's irritating with people who are like, oh, we need to increase the minimum wage. It's like, no, because then you're just going to make cost of living worse short term because a lot of companies, first off, they have to change the way that they have to change their wages to keep up and stay competitive with inflation. But the problem is a lot of them are very slow to do that because they want to avoid it as much as possible. And if they just had that minimum, they won't worry too much about the people who are already making more than minimum. They won't worry too much about that. So, and it is kind of bullshit because it also just has to do with my company being, like, under new management in some regards. Because, like, we used to get a raise every 6 months, and then it was every year. And now, from what I understand, it's only just to adjust to inflation. So it's basically just like, oh, whenever the fuck they feel like it.
Yeah.
But, like, people don't realize that minimum wage doesn't actually change anything. Like, it doesn't make anything better because it just makes it so that inflation increases. Because, like, so, oh yeah, now you're getting paid more dollar per hour, but that dollar's worth less. So, if anything, you're actually getting less, if not around the same. Like, it is less, obviously, because you do get less bang for your buck in this day and age.
It makes everything feel more expensive. Like, as you said, paying over $10 for a Big Mac meal. That would have been $6 back in the day.
Right. And, on top of that, like, I have seen improvement in some areas in some places. Like, gas is not as astronomically high as it was under Biden, right? Like, it's gone down pretty significantly, but it's also not as good as it was in 2019 at, like, the peak of Trump's first term.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, people also tend to have a short memory, and that's really fucking irritating to me, too, right? Like, everyone just likes to pretend, like, doublethink is real. Like, when you see in, like, in 1984, right, the book, when you see the part where, Winston has to write an article because the chocolate ration was actually cut in half, he has to write an article talking about it, and he's, like, trying to decide, how do I say this as it's a good thing, and he ultimately decides, well, the way I'm going to frame it is I'm just going to say, actually, it's been doubled, and just pretend that the number was half as much as it was before. Like, just pretend that the numbers, like, just lie about it. And, that's kind of what happens in this real world. Like, because people just believe it in 1984 because, you know, they use doublethink. They have to, right? And that actually is kind of what people do. Like, people just kind of forget shit. Like, there is people who forget that not only did, like, the COVID vaccine not prevent infection, it didn't prevent it from spreading, but they forget that they literally lied and claimed that it did.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, none of the people making it ever said that it did, but all the media and government officials and people who supported it said that it did when it didn't. And people love
Also,
to...
no apology to the people that for the anti-vaxxers. No apology to them for how they were treated. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When people started having fucking, like, health problems. Which, again, we won't go into that whole rabbit hole. That's a whole other topic. But at the same time, it is worth mentioning. Like, people have short-term memory. Like, I see people are like, yeah, our gas is so much lower now. And it's like, it is. Don't get me wrong. But it's also winter. And gas is cheaper in winter, always. But, here's the thing you gotta remember. Gas was like under $2 in the summer during Trump's term. And that was fucking unheard of in my adult life. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, you know what? 2019, I was all for it. Like, that's why, again, a lot of people will, like, act like this term is somehow better, like, if they're, like, super hardcore in for Trump, right? And it's not, because, like, granted, we're only the first year in, so we'll see, right?
Yeah.
But, and, like, obviously I have my own issues with Trump now. I'm very disappointed. Like I said, I don't believe in following politicians. I believe in following, you know, what makes sense and good ideas when it comes to policy, right?
Yes.
But, that's the thing people just ignore. They're like, yeah, it's so much better now. It's like, it is better now because of how terrible it was under Biden. Under Biden, we had gas that was, like, over $4. Like... I can't, we might have had it even higher than that. I don't even fucking... See, that's what I mean, even with short-term memory. Like, I know it was fucking bad, but I can't remember the specifics. I just know it was a hell of a lot more than it is now. But I definitely remember that under, like, in 2019, I was paying under $2 for gas in the summer, which, again, I had not seen since I was a child.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, that's just the thing, is crazy, the revisionism people like to do on that kind of thing. And, like, also, like, you know, on the subject of, like, economics, for instance. Like, people, like, love to think that they can just so simplify everything. And none of it ever works, right? Like, people think that if they have, like, universal health care, for instance, it'll just randomly be better. When it fucking won't. Look at Canada. Like, I mean... Deacon's probably more qualified to speak on this than us since he fucking lives there. But in Canada, like, unless it's, like, a serious thing, you're usually going to be on a waiting list, right?
Yeah, like, when you're going to the ER, you're gonna be waiting for a long-ass time. Like, I remember, when I was, submitted to rehab, because, like I said, I was a former drug user and not just weed.
Right.
And my mom made me go there because she was concerned I was using heavier drugs, which I was. It took me a whole fucking day to get in there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Just so some 15-year-old can get some help with his drug addiction.
Yeah. Like,
so imagine what else they're doing.
Like, granted, our medical system in the U.S. is completely fucked, too. I'm not going to deny that. And that's mainly because...
No, we have healthcare. It's worse here in Canada than it is in
it's worse quality, and you're going to be waiting for shit that you wouldn't be waiting for here. But in the U.S., the reason prices are so high isn't because it's free market. If anything, it's because it's actually not. It's artificially not, because these insurance companies have these fucking deals and bailouts with both the government and the hospitals to rip you off. And it completely fucks you over. Like, in Mexico, and they're getting worse there because we've actually had a lot of rich Americans going over there and fucking it up. But Mexico's always, like, a good example I use. Now, granted, Mexico's not known for quality. Mexico is known for their cheapness and stuff with that, too. So keep that in mind. But insulin and shit like that is actually, like, super affordable in Mexico, or at least it was a few years ago. Again, I have heard it actually is a little worse because of a lot of, like, business magnates from the U.S. moving down there and fucking it up. But that's an example I use where it's like Mexico had, like, basically free market healthcare, like, completely, like, unrestricted. Like, again, I don't know all of the details, so I don't know if it's completely unrestricted, but it's a hell of a lot restricted than it is here, right? And so, because of that, you were able to get insulin and, like, normal things that, like, people need with, like, specific shit for relatively affordable because you're just buying it from a store. You're not having to go through a fucking insurance company or having to go to a specialist doctor like you have to here. But, like, again, people think the solution is, oh, well, make the government do it. It's like, why do you think having the government run anything would ever make it better? It has always made it worse.
Yeah.
Like, name one good government agency you like. I'll wait, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you think any government agency is doing anything, like, right, then, I got a bridge to sell you on the fucking, like, some oceanfront property in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
If you want, I'll throw in the Golden Gate Bridge for free.
Yeah. Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that mostly gets the point across. Like, I think that realistically, you know, inflation is annoying, and I think we all agree on that, right? Everybody does. Even leftists agree on that. Obviously, their solutions are even more retarded.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like they think, oh well, let's just have UBI. It's like, no, hell no. Like,
I actually think there's a lot of shit that the left sees as the right eye to eye. They just have much more retarded solutions for it, if you know what I mean.
well, yeah, exactly. Like, we're far less divided than we think we are on some things. But again, I'm not just going to do that whole cope and say, oh, actually, we're all the same. No, there legitimately is, like, retarded solutions they have. Like, they think that, like, socialism will, like, make things better when it just won't. Like, that's not, like, giving the government more power over it is not going to fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good enough point, right? I think that's a good place to stop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live rant. This has been Fugitive
Like
Red
the
Eye.
video.
Like the video, indeed. Damn Crickus. Have a good one. Toodles!